The unexpected bequest. The soft hum of the terraforming machines outside his window was the only company Alex Chen had grown accustomed to in recent years. At 45, the former space engineer had settled into an early retirement on the fringes of Mars Colony 7, content to watch the red planet slowly transform into a new Earth. His days were filled with tinkering on personal projects and reminiscing about his glory days working on the Jupiter stations. It was on one such quiet evening that Alex's solitude was shattered by an unexpected chime from his communications panel. The unfamiliar signal origin made him pause before accepting the transmission. As the holographic display flickered to life, Alex found himself face to face with a being he had never seen before, clearly alien, with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to swirl with galaxies. "Greetings, Alexander Chen," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious blend of tones. "I am Xylta, executor of the estate of Jorax Vin. I bear news of great importance to you." Alex's brow furrowed in confusion. "I'm sorry, but I don't know any Jorax Vin. There must be some mistake." Xylta's expression shifted in a way Alex couldn't quite interpret. "There is no mistake, Mr. Chen. Jorax Vin was a renowned xenoarchaeologist from the planet Zephyria. Though you may not have known him directly, he knew of you and your work on the Jupiter stations. He has named you as the sole inheritor of his estate." The news hit Alex like a meteor strike. An alien he'd never met had left him an inheritance. It seemed too fantastic to be true. I don't understand. Why me?" "Mr. Vin's reasons were his own," Xylta replied, "but he was most insistent. The inheritance includes not only his vast collection of artifacts and research, but also his estate on Zephyria. There are, however, certain conditions that must be met in person. Your presence is required on Zephyria within the next standard galactic month to claim your inheritance." Alex's mind raced. Leave Mars, travel to an alien world. It was simultaneously thrilling and terrifying. "This is a lot to process. Can you tell me more about these conditions?" Xylta's galaxy eyes seemed to twinkle. "I'm afraid the specifics must be discussed in person, as per Mr. Vin's instructions. I can assure you, however, that accepting this inheritance will change your life in ways you cannot imagine." As the transmission ended, Alex sat in stunned silence. The quiet hum of the terraformers seemed louder now, a reminder of the life he had grown comfortable with. But beneath that comfort, a long-dormant spark of adventure began to flicker. Over the next few days, Alex found himself unable to focus on anything but the mysterious inheritance. He researched Zephyria, learning about its twin suns and its reputation as a hub of galactic knowledge. The more he discovered, the more his curiosity grew. Finally, after a week of internal debate, Alex made his decision. He booked passage on the next available transport to Zephyria, a journey that would take nearly 3 weeks. As he packed his belongings, a mixture of excitement and apprehension coursed through him. The day of departure arrived with little fanfare. Alex took one last look at his Martian home, the red landscape slowly giving way to patches of engineered vegetation. With a deep breath, he boarded the sleek interstellar vessel that would carry him to his destiny. The journey was a blur of stars and unfamiliar constellations. Alex spent much of his time in the ship's observation deck, marveling at the vastness of space and wondering about the alien world that awaited him. He chatted with other passengers, a mix of humans and alien species, each with their own reasons for traveling to Zephyria. As the ship entered Zephyrian space, Alex got his first glimpse of his destination. The planet was a swirl of vibrant blues and greens, orbited by 3 moons of varying sizes. The sight took his breath away, a stark contrast to the red world he had left behind. The landing was smooth, and as Alex stepped off the transport, he was immediately struck by the alien environment. The air was thick with unfamiliar scents, and the gravity was slightly less than what he was accustomed to. The spaceport bustled with activity, beings of all shapes and sizes moving about their business. "Mr. Chen," a voice called out. Alex turned to see Xylta approaching, even more impressive in person. Welcome to Zephyria. I trust your journey was pleasant. Alex nodded, still taking in his surroundings. It was eye-opening. I've never seen anything like this place. Scioto's mouth curved in what Alex assumed was a smile. Zephyria has that effect on many first-time visitors. Come, there is much to discuss, and time is of the essence. As they traveled through the city in a hovering transport, Alex was overwhelmed by the sights. Towering structures of crystalline materials stretched into the sky, while anti-gravity platforms carried people and goods between levels. The entire city seemed alive with energy and possibility. They arrived at a sprawling complex on the outskirts of the city. Was Jorax Vin's estate, Scioto explained as they entered, and now potentially yours. The interior was a marvel of alien architecture and human influence. Artifacts from across the galaxy lined the walls, and holographic displays flickered with data in languages Alex couldn't begin to comprehend. Before we proceed, Scioto said, his tone growing serious, there is something you must understand. Accepting this inheritance is not merely a matter of signing documents. There are cultural obligations that come with it. Alex felt a knot forming in his stomach. What kind of obligations? Scioto gestured to a door at the far end of the room. Perhaps it's best if I show you. Mr. Vin left specific instructions for this moment. As the door slid open, Alex gasped. Standing before him was the most beautiful alien being he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered with a pearlescent glow, and her eyes were deep pools of violet. She wore an intricate gown that seemed to flow like water. Alexander Chen, Scioto said formally, may I present Zara Vin, daughter of Jorax Vin, and should you accept this inheritance, your betrothed. Alex's world spun. My, what? Zara stepped forward, her movements graceful and fluid. Greetings, Alexander Chen. I understand this must come as a shock to you. It was my father's dying wish that his legacy be preserved through our union. Alex struggled to find words. I don't understand. How can I be betrothed to someone I've just met? And why would your father arrange this? Scioto interjected. Mr. Vin believed that the future of galactic peace lay in the union of different species. He chose you, Mr. Chen, because of your reputation as a brilliant engineer and your role in advancing human space exploration. He saw in you the potential to bridge our worlds. Alex's mind raced. This was far more than he had bargained for. An alien bride, a cultural obligation that could shake galactic politics. It was overwhelming. Zara must have sensed his turmoil. She approached him slowly, her violet eyes filled with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. I know this is not the human way, she said softly, but I ask that you consider the possibilities. My father's work was revolutionary, and together we could continue it, forging a path to a brighter future for both our peoples. As Alex looked into Zara's eyes, he felt a connection he couldn't explain. Despite the absurdity of the situation, there was something about her that called to him. And beneath his shock and confusion, that spark of adventure that had brought him to Zephyria flickered brighter. I need time to think, Alex managed to say. Scioto nodded. Of course, you have 3 days to make your decision. In the meantime, you are welcome to explore the estate and learn more about Mr. Vin's work. Zara will be your guide, should you wish it. As Scioto left them alone, Alex found himself standing awkwardly with his potential alien bride. Zara offered a small smile. Perhaps, she suggested, we could start with a tour of the laboratories. My father's most important work was conducted there. Alex nodded, grateful for the suggestion. As they walked together through the winding corridors of the estate, he couldn't help but feel that his life had irrevocably changed. Whatever decision he made in 3 days' time, he knew that nothing would ever be the same again. The inheritance he had traveled across the galaxy to claim was far more complex than he could have imagined. But as he glanced at Zara, watching her eyes light up as she spoke about her father's research, Alex felt a glimmer of excitement for the unknown future that lay ahead. Little did he know that this inheritance was just the beginning of an adventure that would challenge everything he thought he knew about the universe and himself. Secrets of the Quantum Forge. As the twin suns of Zephyria cast their ethereal glow across the alien landscape, Alex Chen found himself standing before a marvel of engineering that defied his earthly understanding. The Quantum Forge, as Zara called it, pulsed with an energy that made the air around them shimmer like a mirage. This was my father's magnum opus, Zara explained, her violet eyes reflecting the forge's pulsating light. A device capable of manipulating the very fabric of reality. Alex's mind raced with the implications. You mean it can alter matter at a quantum level? Zara's lips curved in a smile that was both proud and sad. It's more than that, Alexander. The Quantum Forge can rewrite the laws of physics within a localized field. Imagine being able to create pockets of space where gravity flows like water, or where time moves in reverse. As if to demonstrate, Zara activated a control panel. A sphere of energy coalesced in the center of the forge. Within it, Alex watched in awe as a plant grew from seed to full bloom, then reverted to a seed, all in a matter of seconds. This is impossible, Alex breathed, his engineer's mind struggling to comprehend what he was seeing. Impossible for humans, perhaps, Zara said gently. But my father believed that by combining Zephyrian quantum manipulation techniques with human creativity and ingenuity, we could unlock the full potential of the forge. Alex's fingers itched to examine the forge's inner workings. But why me? Surely there are more qualified scientists, both human and Zephyrian, who could continue this work. Zara's expression grew serious. My father chose you for a reason, Alexander. He believed that your unique perspective, unburdened by preconceived notions of what is and isn't possible, would be key to unlocking the forge's true potential. As Alex pondered this, an alarm suddenly blared through the laboratory. Zara's eyes widened in fear. No, they found us, she gasped. Who's found us? Alex demanded, instinctively moving closer to Zara. The Void Consortium, Zara explained hurriedly as she began inputting commands into the forge's control panel. A group of interstellar pirates and arms dealers. They've been after my father's research for years. The laboratory doors burst open, and 3 figures in sleek, black armor stormed in. Their helmets were opaque, but Alex could feel their malevolent intent. Step away from the forge, the lead figure commanded, its voice distorted by its helmet. Alex's mind raced. He might not understand the intricacies of Zephyrian technology, but he knew machines. His eyes darted around the lab, taking in every detail, every potential tool or weapon. Zara, he whispered, can the forge create a localized field around us? She nodded almost imperceptibly. When I say now, activate it, Alex instructed, then turned to face the intruders. You know, where I come from, it's considered rude to barge in without knocking. The lead figure raised a weapon. Your primitive human customs are of no concern to us. Hand over control of the Quantum Forge or... Now, Alex shouted. Zora's fingers flew over the control panel. In an instant, a shimmering field enveloped them and the forge. The intruders fired their weapons, but the energy blast slowed to a crawl as they entered the field, giving Alex and Zara ample time to dodge. Impressive, the lead intruder growled. But this field won't hold forever. Alex grinned. It doesn't need to. He turned to Zara. Can you modulate the field to create a gravity well? Zara's eyes lit up with understanding. She made a few adjustments, and suddenly the intruders were lifted off their feet, floating helplessly in the air. What is this trickery? One of them shouted, flailing uselessly. Just a little human ingenuity combined with some Zephyrian quantum manipulation, Alex quipped. He turned to Zara. We need to get out of here. Is there a safe place we can go? Zara nodded. My father prepared a sanctuary, but we'll need to take the forge with us. It's too dangerous to leave it here. Working together, They quickly disconnected the quantum forge from its power source and loaded it onto a hovering transport platform. As they prepared to leave, Alex hesitated. "We can't just leave them floating there," he said, gesturing to the intruders. Zara looked at him in surprise. "They would have killed us without hesitation." "Maybe," Alex admitted, "but we're better than that. Besides, you might need them for information later." With a sigh, Zara adjusted the field. The intruders fell to the ground, groaning. "The field will dissipate in about an hour," Alex informed them as he and Zara left. "I'd suggest using that time to reconsider your career choices." As they sped away from the estate in a sleek Zephyrian vehicle, Zara couldn't help but stare at Alex in wonder. "That was remarkable," she said. "How did you know what to do?" Alex shrugged, a bit embarrassed by her admiration. "I didn't, not really. But in crisis situations, sometimes you have to trust your instincts and work with what you have." "I think I'm beginning to understand why my father chose you," Zara mused. As they traveled through the neon-lit underbelly of the Zephyrian capital, Alex's mind whirled with questions. "So, what exactly is this Void Consortium, and why are they after the Forge?" Zara's expression darkened. "They're a powerful criminal organization with influence across multiple galaxies. My father's research into quantum manipulation threatened their control over certain trade routes and weapons technologies. If they were to get their hands on the Forge, they could reshape reality to their liking." Alex finished, the gravity of the situation sinking in. They arrived at a nondescript building on the outskirts of the city. Inside, they found a fully equipped laboratory and living quarters. "My father's sanctuary," Zara explained as they set up the quantum forge. "We should be safe here, at least for now." As they worked, Alex found himself growing more comfortable around Zara. Her intelligence and determination were impressive, and he couldn't deny the growing attraction he felt towards her. "Zara," he said hesitantly, "about this arranged marriage." She looked up at him, her violet eyes unreadable. "Yes. I know it's part of the inheritance, but I don't want you to feel obligated. This is all happening so fast, and—" Zara placed a gentle hand on his arm, sending a shiver through him. "Alexander, I agree to this arrangement not out of obligation, but out of respect for my father's wishes and hope that together we might achieve something greater than either of us could alone." Alex felt a warmth spread through his chest. "I think I'd like that," he said softly. Their moment was interrupted by a holographic message materializing in the center of the room. It was Jorex Vin, Zara's father. "If you're seeing this," the message began, "then the quantum forge is in danger, and you, Alexander Chen, have accepted your role in its protection. What I'm about to tell you will change everything you think you know about the universe." As the hologram continued, Alex and Zara listened in stunned silence. The true purpose of the quantum forge, the ancient alien artifacts that powered it, and the cosmic balance that hung in the balance, it was almost too much to comprehend. When the message ended, Alex turned to Zara, his expression determined. "I think it's time we took the fight to the Void Consortium. What do you say we show them what a human Zephyrian team can really do?" Zara's answering smile was radiant. "I thought you'd never ask." As they began to plan their next move, Alex realized that the inheritance he had accepted was far more than an estate or a bride. It was a chance to make a difference on a cosmic scale, to push the boundaries of what was possible. And with Zara by his side, he was ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw at them. The adventure was only just beginning. Echoes of the cosmic tapestry. The holographic star map flickered to life, filling the sanctuary with a dazzling array of constellations and nebulae. Alex and Zara stood before it, their faces illuminated by the ethereal glow of 1 billion digital stars. "The cosmic tapestry," Zara breathed, her violet eyes reflecting the swirling galaxies. "My father's greatest discovery, and the key to understanding the true nature of the quantum forge." Alex leaned in, his engineer's mind racing to comprehend the vast network of energy lines connecting various points across the universe. "It's like a nervous system for reality itself," he mused. Zara nodded, her fingers deftly manipulating the hologram to zoom in on a particular cluster. Exactly. Each of these nexus points is a cosmic watershed, a place where the fabric of reality is thin. The quantum forge draws its power from these points, allowing it to manipulate the fundamental laws of physics. As Alex absorbed this information, a thought struck him. Wait, if the Void Consortium gets control of even one of these nexus points, they could destabilize the entire cosmos. Zara finished grimly. That's why we need to act fast. My father's message indicated that he hid artifacts at each of these nexus points, artifacts that when combined with the quantum forge could either save or destroy the universe. Alex's mind whirled with the implications. So we're on a cosmic scavenger hunt with the fate of reality at stake. No pressure, right? Zora's lips quirked in a smile. Welcome to life as a Vin, Alexander. That planning session was interrupted by a sudden tremor that shook the sanctuary. Warning lights flashed as a breach alert sounded. They found us, Zara said, her voice tense. We need to move now. As if on cue, the wall behind them exploded inward. Through the smoke and debris stepped a figure that made Alex's blood run cold. It was humanoid in shape, but its body seemed to be composed of swirling dark energy, punctuated by pinpricks of light like distant stars. Greetings, children. The figure's voice resonated, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. I am Nexus, the will of the Void Consortium made manifest. Your little game of hide-and-seek ends now. Alex stepped protectively in front of Zara, his mind racing for a solution. I don't suppose you'd be willing to sit down and talk this out over a cup of coffee. Nexus tilted its head, the motion unnaturally fluid. Ah, human humor. How quaint. I'm afraid time is a luxury we cannot afford. The cosmic tapestry unravels as we speak, and only the quantum forge can mend it, or reshape it to our design. Zara's hands flew over the sanctuary's control panel. Alexander, I'm activating the emergency protocols. When I give the signal, run for the teleportation chamber. Nexus raised a hand, dark energy crackling around it. I think not. In that moment, Alex made a decision that would alter the course of his life forever. He longed for the quantum forge, his fingers finding the activation sequence Zara had shown him earlier. Alex, no, Zara cried, but it was too late. The forge hummed to life, and Alex felt a surge of power unlike anything he'd ever experienced. It was as if every atom in his body was singing in harmony with the cosmos. He turned to face Nexus, his eyes now glowing with the same ethereal light as the forge. You want to reshape reality. Alex's voice echoed with newfound power. Let's see how you handle this. With a thought, Alex created a localized field around Nexus, inverting the laws of physics within it. The cosmic entity writhed, its form destabilizing as it struggled against the altered reality. Impossible, Nexus growled. No human could wield the forge with such precision. Alex grinned, feeling the power coursing through him. That's the thing about us humans. We're really good at doing the impossible. Taking advantage of Nexus's momentary weakness, Zara activated the teleportation chamber. Alex, we have to go now. You can't maintain that field for long. With a final push of energy, Alex expanded the reality-warping field, engulfing the entire sanctuary. As he and Zara stepped into the teleportation chamber, he caught a glimpse of Nexus dissolving into streams of dark energy, pulled apart by the conflicting laws of physics. The world around them shimmered and faded, replaced by the interior of what appeared to be an ancient temple. As the teleportation effect faded, Alex felt the power of the quantum forge leave him. He stumbled, suddenly exhausted. Zara caught him, her eyes wide with concern and awe. Alexander, that was. I've never seen anyone use the forge like that, not even my father. Alex leaned against a stone pillar, trying to catch his breath. I don't know how I did it. It was like the forge was guiding me, showing me possibilities I never knew existed. Before Zara could respond, A holographic interface sprang to life in the center of the temple. It displayed a map similar to the cosmic tapestry, but focused on their immediate stellar neighborhood. It's a map to the nexus points in this sector, Zara realized, studying the display. My father must have programmed the safe house to activate when we arrived. Alex nodded, his strength slowly returning. So, what's our next move? Zara's expression was determined as she turned to face him. We gather the artifacts, stay one step ahead of the Void Consortium, and find a way to stabilize the cosmic tapestry before reality itself unravels. Just another day at the office, huh? Alex quipped, but his tone was serious. Zara, when I used the forge, I saw things, understood things that I can't even begin to explain. I think your father was right. I think together, we might actually have a chance at saving the universe. Zara took his hand, her touch sending a warmth through him that had nothing to do with cosmic energy. Together, she agreed, as they began to plan their next move, deciphering the clues left by Jorak Sven and preparing for the challenges ahead. Alex realized that his life had changed in ways he could never have imagined. He had inherited more than an estate or a bride. He had inherited a destiny intertwined with the fate of the cosmos itself. The sanctuary rumbled, ancient machinery coming to life around them. A pedestal rose from the floor, bearing what appeared to be a fragment of crystallized starlight. The first artifact, Zara breathed. As Alex reached out to take it, the crystal pulsed with energy, responding to his touch. In that moment, he knew that their journey was only beginning, and that the true test of his newfound powers, and his growing feelings for Zara, lay ahead. The universe itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what this unlikely pair of human and Zephyrian would do next. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, the Void Consortium was regrouping, preparing for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of reality. Quantum entanglement of hearts and worlds. The ancient temple groaned and shifted, its alien architecture responding to the presence of the crystallized starlight artifact. Alex and Zara watched in awe as the walls around them became translucent, revealing the vast expanse of space beyond. It's a ship, Alex realized, his eyes wide with wonder. The entire temple is a spaceship. Zara's fingers danced over newly materialized control panels. Not just any ship, she breathed. This is the Cosmic Weaver, my father's greatest creation. It's designed to navigate the threads of the cosmic tapestry itself. As the Cosmic Weaver hummed to life, Alex felt a familiar surge of energy. The quantum forge, safely stored in the ship's hold, was resonating with the vessel's systems. Without thinking, he placed his hand on a pulsing crystal embedded in the ship's console. Instantly, his consciousness expanded. He could feel the ship as if it were an extension of his own body, could sense the delicate strands of reality stretching out in all directions. Alex. Zara's voice seemed to come from both beside him and within his mind. What's happening? I can feel everything, Alex gasped. The ship, the forge, the tapestry, it's all connected, and I think I can navigate it. With a thought, Alex propelled the Cosmic Weaver forward. Space bent around them as they slipped between the threads of reality, emerging in a star system light years away in mere seconds. Zara stared at him in amazement. How did you do that? Alex shook his head, still trying to process the experience. I'm not sure. It's like the forge has changed me somehow. I can perceive the quantum nature of reality in a way I never could before. Before they could discuss further, an alert sounded. A massive ship had appeared on their sensors, its design a nightmarish blend of organic and mechanical components. The Void Consortium, Zara growled. They must have tracked the energy signature of our jump. The enemy vessel fired, but Alex had already sensed the attack coming. With a thought, he shifted the Cosmic Weaver through a fold in space-time, causing the energy blast to pass harmlessly through empty space. Okay, that was cool. Alex couldn't help but grin. But we can't keep running forever. We need a plan. Zara nodded, her expression determined. The next artifact is hidden on a planet in this system. If we can retrieve it, maybe we can use its power to fight back. As they approached the planet, a swirling gas giant with floating islands suspended in its upper atmosphere, Alex felt a strange tugging sensation in his mind. "Zara," he said slowly, I think the artifact is calling to me." Zara looked at him in surprise. "That's impossible. The artifacts are key to my family's genetic signature." Unless. Their eyes met, a sudden understanding passing between them. The quantum forge hadn't just given Alex the ability to manipulate reality, it had fundamentally altered his very being, entangling him with the cosmic forces at play. As they landed on one of the floating islands, Alex and Zara found themselves facing a massive sentient storm. Lightning crackled with intelligence, and the winds seemed to whisper ancient secrets. "The artifact is at the heart of the storm," Alex said with certainty. "But how do we get to it?" Zara stepped forward, her own connection to her father's work manifesting in a shimmering force field around her. "Together," she said, holding out her hand. As their fingers intertwined, Alex felt a surge of power unlike anything he'd experienced before. Their energies merged, creating a hybridized field of human ingenuity and Zephyrian quantum mastery. They stepped into the storm, the combined force of their powers carving a path through the chaos. At the eye of the tempest, they found a pulsing orb of pure energy, the second artifact. The moment Alex touched it, visions flooded his mind. He saw the creation of the universe, the birth of the cosmic tapestry, and the ancient beings who had woven it into existence. But more than that, he saw countless possible futures, branching out in infinite directions. "Alex," Zora's voice cut through the visions. "We have to go. The Void Consortium is breaking through the atmosphere." Clutching the artifact, they raced back to the Cosmic Weaver. As they lifted off, the enemy ship loomed above them, casting a shadow over the entire island. "Their weapons are charged," Zora reported, her voice tense. "We can't outrun them." In that moment, Alex had an epiphany. He placed one hand on the ship's console and the other on the artifact. "Zara, quick, connect the artifact to the quantum forge." As she did so, Alex felt a rush of power that dwarfed anything he felt before. The Cosmic Weaver shuddered, its systems overclocking as it tapped into the raw energy of creation. "Hold on," Alex shouted. With a thought, he tore a hole in the fabric of spacetime itself. The Cosmic Weaver plunged through, dragging the Void Consortium ship with it. They emerged in a realm beyond normal space, the quantum realm, where the laws of physics were more suggestion than rule. Here, Alex's newfound powers were amplified exponentially. He reached out with his mind, grasping the very essence of the enemy's ship. With a flex of his will, he began to unravel its atomic structure. "Alex, stop," Zara cried out. "You're tearing them apart." Her voice snapped Alex back to reality. He realized with horror that he had nearly destroyed the enemy's ship with everyone on board. The power was intoxicating, terrifying in its scope. With great effort, Alex released his hold on the Void Consortium vessel. Both ships rematerialized in normal space, the enemy craft badly damaged but intact. As they sped away, leaving their stunned pursuers behind, Alex slumped in his seat. I almost killed them all," he whispered, shaken by the enormity of what he'd nearly done. Zora placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "But you didn't. You showed mercy, even to our enemies. That's what separates us from them, Alex. That's why my father chose you." Alex looked up at her, seeing not just an alien being, but a partner, a friend, and perhaps something more. "I couldn't have done it without you," he said softly. "I think I'm starting to understand why your father arranged our marriage. We balance each other." Zara smiled, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "I think you may be right. But let's focus on saving the universe before we start planning the wedding, shall we?" As they set a course for the next artifact, Alex couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The power at his fingertips was beyond anything he'd ever imagined, and his connection to Zara was growing stronger by the day. But with two artifacts secured and the Void Consortium in hot pursuit, he knew their greatest challenges, and perhaps their greatest triumphs, still lay ahead. The fate of the cosmic tapestry hung in the balance, and only by weaving their own destinies together could Alex and Zara hope to preserve the very fabric of reality itself. Singularity Nexus, the quantum wedding. The cosmic weaver drifted in the shadow of a binary star system, its crystalline hull refracting the jewel sunlight into a dazzling array of colors. Inside, Alex and Zara stood before a holographic display of the cosmic tapestry, now glowing with increased intensity as the two artifacts they collected pulsed with energy. "The final artifact is here," Zara said, pointing to a swirling vortex at the edge of known space. The Singularity Nexus. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. Why do I get the feeling this isn't going to be a simple smash and grab? Before Zara could respond, the ship's alarms blared. A massive fleet of Void Consortium vessels materialized around them, led by a behemoth of a ship that seemed to devour light itself. "Nexus," Alex growled, recognizing the dark energy signature of their nemesis. The comm system crackled to life, and Nexus's otherworldly voice filled the bridge. "I must commend you on your tenacity, humans, but your journey ends here. Surrender the artifacts and the quantum forge, or watch as we unravel this entire sector of space." Alex and Zara exchanged glances. They both knew they couldn't risk a confrontation, not with the final artifact so close. "We need a distraction," Zara whispered. A wild idea formed in Alex's mind. "Zara, do you trust me?" She nodded without hesitation. "With my life." Alex took a deep breath. "Then let's give them what they want, a show they'll never forget." He activated the ship's external speakers. "Nexus," he called out, "we accept your terms, on one condition. Allow us to complete the purpose of our union. Let us have our wedding, here and now, before the cosmos itself as witness." There was a long pause before Nexus responded, confusion evident in its tone. "A wedding? What trickery is this?" Zara caught on to Alex's plan, a sleek smile spreading across her face. "It is our way," she added, "to bind our souls before facing our destiny. Surely beings of your power can appreciate the gravity of such a ritual." Another pause. "Very well," Nexus finally replied. "You may proceed with your primitive ceremony, but know that any attempt at deception will result in your immediate destruction." As the comm went silent, Zara turned to Alex, her violet eyes wide. "A quantum wedding. Are you sure about this?" Alex took her hands in his, suddenly aware of how right it felt. "I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Plus," he added with a grin, "it'll make one hell of a distraction." They worked quickly, Alex using his connection to the quantum forge to create a dazzling display of energy around the cosmic weaver. Zara, meanwhile, tapped into the ship's systems, preparing for their daring plan. As the ceremony began, Alex and Zara stood before the viewing window, the vastness of space serving as their backdrop. The Void Consortium fleet watched, weapons trained on them, as they began to recite vows unlike any in human or Zephyrian history. "I, Alexander Chen," Alex spoke, his voice carrying across the cosmos, "bind myself to you, Zara Vin, not just in life, but in the very fabric of reality." As he spoke, tendrils of quantum energy began to swirl around them, responding to the power of their words and the artifacts they carried. Zara continued, her voice strong and clear. "And I, Zara Vin, bind myself to you, Alexander Chen, across all possible timelines and parallel universes." The energy intensified, creating a spectacle that even Nexus and his fleet couldn't ignore. Distracted by the unprecedented display of power, they failed to notice the cosmic weaver's subtle movements. "With this union," Alex and Zara spoke in unison, "we weave our destinies into the cosmic tapestry itself." At that moment, several things happened at once. The quantum energy exploded outward in a blinding flash, temporarily disorienting the Void Consortium fleet. Simultaneously, Zara activated the Cosmic Weaver's secret weapon, a device capable of creating a localized fold in space-time. In the confusion, the Cosmic Weaver slipped through the fold, reappearing at the edge of the Singularity Nexus. But they weren't alone. In the chaos of the quantum wedding, a few of the smaller Void Consortium ships had been caught in the wake of their escape. As reality stabilized around them, Alex and Zara found themselves face to face with not only the swirling vortex of the Singularity Nexus, but also a handful of very confused and angry enemy ships. "Well," Alex quipped, still holding Zara's hands, "this wasn't exactly how I imagined starting a honeymoon." Zara's laugh was cut short as the enemy ships opened fire. The Cosmic Weaver shuddered under the assault, its shields straining. "The final artifact," Zara shouted over the alarms. "It's in there, in the heart of the Singularity Nexus." Alex nodded, his expression determined. "Then that's where we're going. Hold on tight, Mrs. Chen Vin. This might get a bit bumpy." With a thought, Alex directed the Cosmic Weaver into the swirling vortex of the Singularity Nexus. The ship groaned as reality itself seemed to twist and warp around them. Through their quantum connection, Alex could feel Zara's presence, anchoring him as they plunged deeper into the unknown. As they emerged into the heart of the Nexus, a breathtaking sight greeted them. Suspended in the center of a vast, ethereal chamber was an object that defied description. The final artifact, a crystalline structure that seemed to contain entire universes within its facets. But they weren't alone. The Void Consortium ships that had followed them through were also there, damaged but still dangerous. And emerging from the shadows was a figure Alex had hoped never to see again, Nexus itself. "Fools," Nexus's voice boomed, shaking the very fabric of the Nexus. "You've led us right to the source of ultimate power. With this, we will rewrite reality itself." As Nexus reached for the artifact, Alex made a split-second decision. He grabbed Zara's hand and, focusing all his power through their quantum bond, reached out to the artifact with his mind. The moment they connected with it, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. Alex and Zara found their consciousnesses expanded beyond anything they could have imagined, encompassing not just this reality but countless others. They saw the true nature of the cosmic tapestry, not just a construct, but a living, breathing entity that spanned all of existence. And they realized their purpose, the reason Zara's father had set them on this path. With their combined power, amplified by their quantum bond and the artifacts, Alex and Zara began to heal the fraying edges of reality, mending the damage done by the Void Consortium's meddling. Nexus howled in fury, launching itself at them in a last, desperate attack. But in this place, at the heart of all realities, its power was nothing compared to the unified strength of Alex and Zara's bond. With a thought, they unraveled Nexus's very existence, scattering its essence across 1,000,000 different timelines. The remaining Void Consortium ships, cut off from their master's power, fled back through the vortex. As the dust settled, Alex and Zara found themselves floating in the ethereal chamber, the final artifact pulsing gently before them. They turned to each other, their eyes filled with wonder and love. "So," Alex said softly, "was that a real wedding, or do we need to do it again back in normal space?" Zara laughed, the sound like music in the cosmic silence. "Oh, it was real, all right. I don't think the universe itself will let us break these vows." As they shared their first kiss as a married couple, witnessed only by the infinite expanse of the cosmos, Alex realized that his unexpected inheritance had given him far more than he could have ever dreamed. He had found purpose, adventure, and a love that transcended the boundaries of species and reality itself. With the cosmic tapestry healing and the Void Consortium defeated, Alex and Zara knew their journey was far from over. As guardians of the quantum realm and protectors of the cosmic tapestry, their adventures were just beginning. Hand in hand, they guided the Cosmic Weaver back towards normal space, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw at them, together. The story of the human engineer and his alien bride had become legend, a tale of love, courage, and the unbreakable bonds that could form between two souls, no matter how different their origins. And somewhere in the vast expanse of the cosmos, the cosmic tapestry shimmered with renewed strength, forever marked by the quantum entanglement of two hearts that had dared to love across the stars.